What's up, Bronze Age believers? I'm teaching myself how to clean comic books. I'm only treating the white areas of the comic books at this point in my process. And again, teaching myself, not a professional. So again, this is a learning process for me and just wanted to share with you where I'm at this point. So let's talk about some of the accessories you're going to need. First up, you need a Click eraser pen, and those are easily attainable. Target, Walmart, Hobby Lobby. The other thing I bought is a kneaded eraser. It's very pliable, and you can use that to touch up colored areas of comics, but I have yet to use that at this point in my education process. The next tool you'll need is the camel hair art brush. Those can be a little bit pricey, so be careful. I prefer a wider brush, because I feel it kind of takes care of that debris and dust generated from cleaning the comic book with the eraser. Something else is investing in some coin gloves. Our skin is naturally oily, so if you get a pair of coin gloves, you can kind of handle these books with a little bit more care and not worry so much about transferring any oil or dirt onto the book. Take a look at buying some Teflon paper, and Teflon paper can be reused, but the Teflon paper is a necessary evil in the pressing process. You're also going to want to invest in some backing boards to flatten out the book that you are pressing. And lastly is purchasing a small sheet of aluminum, and you cut it to fit your press. Be careful, because of course once you cut that aluminum, or just in general, those corners can be very sharp. Okay, so we've got another Marvel comic here. This is issue number 17 of Supervillain Team Up. And once I started looking at it, I noticed there was a lot of just kind of grime on this book, especially in the white areas, not only in the font and text on the cover of the book, but especially on the back side of the book where there's an advertisement for some Star Trek models, and along the side of the spine and up top. So there was just a generous amount of grime that existed on this book, and I thought it'd be a good candidate for me to try to clean this up and teach myself the process of using the eraser and seeing what good results I could generate. Definitely one thing I can tell you is you want to hold that book in place. So with those coin gloves on, you want to hold that book in place, and you want to be extremely careful, especially depending on the age of your comic that you're trying to clean up. Sometimes these things can be very brittle. Obviously, we're talking about pulp paper, and it's a lower quality paper than what we're used to today in modern comics. These covers and these pages can tear very easily. Use a lot of caution, and it's patient work. Kind of scrub into those areas with just enough pressure to remove what you want to get off of said book. When you're talking about white font or text, be careful not to go too far out of that area, because of course if it's white text on a black background, you're going to cause some problems. As you'll see in my example, I left all of my successes and my mistakes in here. The first thing I noticed is I've got a smudge at the bottom of the letter E in the word team up that is on the front cover there. I specifically remember kind of going outside of that letter with the eraser. My Click eraser is not a fine tip. There's definitely a smudge that occurred as a result of my treatment of this book. And over on the back is where I saw the most significant change. Along the bottom of the cover, pretty clean. And the spine of the book, same deal. A lot of that grime came off. I'm pretty satisfied with how that looks in terms of the amount of time that I put into it. But I've definitely learned that I think I need to get some more fine-tuned instruments in terms of those erasers. So hopefully you learned a little something from this, learned the equipment that you need, learned a little do's and don'ts, and if it's to your benefit or your interest level, give it a try one time. Get some of the gear and try cleaning up a comic book and see what results you get. I wish you all the best.